All right. Hello, everyone, to all my subscribers and all my non-subscribers watching this video right now. Per usual, if you enjoyed this video, then please remember to leave a like on it and subscribe to my channel to see more content just like this if you are not already. It really helps me out and helps me stay motivated to make better content and more content for you all. If you have any questions, comments, other things that you want to say, leave them down in the comment section below. I will definitely react to it in some way or another, assuming I don't just comment to it directly, which I mean, don't do a lot of that. So this is just gonna be another regular vlog. I'm not feeling like I want to work on the play tonight. Yeah, I just got my computer on, so I have some extra light on my face. Kind of wondering if maybe I should, like, I don't know, play something while I talk. I don't know. It's 1:27 a.m. right now, which is kind of funny. Maybe I shouldn't be making this right now, considering that I'm gonna be soon, that I have to be up relatively early in the morning. And that, I don't know, I've been having trouble sleeping lately. Or not sleeping, but I've been having trouble going to sleep. I don't know if it's because I'm staying up too late, or if it's because of some other reason. Because, like, even last night, I got into bed at like 11 o'clock, but I still didn't even finally fall asleep until 1 a.m. or sometime around there. And then I didn't wake up till 11 o'clock this morning, or something like that. And so, having a little bit of trouble going to sleep, but I've been sleeping good. Haven't been having any kind of nightmares or anything like that, which I don't think I normally do. I'm just not really that kind of person who dreams at all, really. Usually whenever I go to bed, I'll have a video playing, because that the sound from the video, which I'm sort of inactively listening to, where, like, I can hear it but I'm not really listening to it, it helps me go to sleep, because I'm at that point in my life right now where there's so much stuff that weighs on my mind all the time that if I try to go to sleep without some form of talking like that, like, cause like just the background noise from a fan would not be enough for me. I have to be listening to, like, Game Grumps or JonTron or something like that, something that's like a talk show type of thing. And so Game Grumps compilations are the big thing. They're the really big one. They're the one that they're like my go-to. But last night, I've been really into watching Hugbee's How It's Actually Made series. It's so funny. And I'll just turn on the chocolate episode, which was the first episode in that series, and I'll just let it play all night, all the way through. And then that's usually, as long as I have something like that playing, I can usually go to sleep. But if I don't, then it's just this thing where it's just me in the dark in my bed, just laying there. And if I don't have anything to inactively listen to in the background, then I just think. I think really hard, and I think way too much. And I do the thing everyone does where I think about stuff that happened 10 years ago and I feel embarrassed and cringe about it now. Let's see, at work 2 days ago, on Wednesday, which is the last time I worked, I was about to leave, and I'm waiting for one of the managers to tell me that I'm good to clock out. And then it's like super late at night. It's like after 11. We're gonna be closing soon, and yet people are still coming into the restaurant trying to order food because fucking, we live in a college town, and 10 o'clock is when all the potheads and the other unsavory kind of people who do drugs and people who are just inebriated because they've been at the bars getting blackout drunk since freaking 6 o'clock, have decided that they're going to stumble their way into the restaurant, and so we all have to deal with it. And I guess we have certain grilled items on our menu, and this particular cook hates cooking grilled items, but he was the only person in the kitchen who knew how to do that, because it was just him and one other guy. And I guess a grilled order came in, and he more or less just goes off. I mean, it was kind of scary. Like he's screaming the F word in the kitchen, and he's throwing heavy metal objects around. And so my manager comes over and asks him what's wrong, and he just pretends like it's nothing at all, which is just, I don't know. It's like I was thinking about that because it was kind of a scary experience, because he's normally a pretty cool guy, but, we're all stressed out and everyone reaches their breaking point every now and again. Which is one of the things where it reminds me that I'm a pretty mellow person, because I don't yell and scream and throw stuff whenever something bad happens to me. I get upset about it, but then I just take a deep breath and I move on. So I like to think that I handle my anger about certain things way better than most other people do. These vlogs that I make are good ways for me to vent about my issues, and they do make me feel better, especially since I know that you guys, or that you all seem to like watching these or listening to these, whichever you do. And I hope that maybe one day these vlogs and these things that I talk about can really help some of you. Or maybe you'll get to the point where you listen to these while you try to fall asleep at night. That would be a great honor, I think, if I ever reach that point. And so, yeah, it was kind of a scary experience, because it was just like, imagine if it only got worse. Imagine if he like walked out into the freaking dining room and confronted this person, tried to fight them. I mean, he's worked at the restaurant for like 5 years or something, and this is probably just one of 1,000 times that he's gotten upset about this kind of thing. And which I feel really bad for the kitchen guys, because it's like they regularly don't get out of the restaurant until like freaking 2 a.m. Which is just like, I wouldn't, hell no, you could never get me to do that. It's the reason why I don't work in the kitchen. It's the reason why I don't want to work in the kitchen. Even if they make more money than me, I don't want that. And if my managers ever asks me if I want to work in the kitchen, I'm gonna tell them no. The extra 50 cents is not worth it. Instead, my feet already hurt, and I only work like 5.5 to 6 hours normally, but they're all working, like the guys in the kitchen always work like a consistent 8 hours at minimum, which I've had jobs where I've had to work 8 hours, and those were not fun. And working 8 hours when you spend a lot of that sitting down is fine, but there's literally nowhere to sit in that kitchen, not a single place. So 8 hours on your feet, it's like a regular 95 degrees in there, because there's a lot of cooking supplies and utilities and other things like that. And I like cooking, but I could never work in a kitchen. That's too much for me. That would make me hate cooking. It's one of the reasons why I ended up hating baseball when I was still in high school, because my whole life, really, I played nothing but non-competitive baseball, which was really fun. Made great friends with my teammates. My coaches were really nice. But then my freshman year of high school, I played for my high school's baseball team, and it was not fun. It was the exact opposite of fun. It was quite horrifying and just bad. Like, if I ever have kids, like I want to, I'm not gonna put them into any kind of competitive high school sports or anything like that, unless unless they've already been playing competitively for a long time. I'm not going to do anything like that. And I'm not even sure if it had to do with the fact that it was competitive. I think it just had something to do with the fact that my coaches cared more about their paychecks than they did about us, is what I would say. I know that at the very least that's how the football coaches were in my high school, because God, I already didn't like football. I already didn't like football during the 1 year that I played it, back when I was very young. And I think football's fun to watch, but I'd never want to play it. I don't think that lining up in a line on a field and running into other people is my idea of fun. I don't think so. I think football falls into a category of one of those sports that's really fun to watch, but it is not very fun to play. It's just, yeah, no. I mean, I thought baseball was really fun to play back when I played non-competitively, and then I got into the competitive scene, and it was pain. My freshman year of high school is still unquestionably in my mind the worst year of my life. I've never cried more in any year of my life, except maybe the freaking year I was born, when I was a baby. I had never had what I would call real feelings of depression until I was in my life, up until I was up to that point, until I made it to my high school's baseball team. And it was just like, I wish that I would have not made the freaking baseball team when I tried out for it. If I had known that that was the shit that was waiting for me on the other side, I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have done it. And so it was just, God, it was just such utter pain and horrifying, and I just couldn't take it. I hated it so much. And so, there's a reason why I'm happy that I got kicked off the team, or I had to, because I was one of the players who had to go back, who had to go through tryouts again, and I didn't make the team the second time, which I was really happy about. I was happy that I didn't make the team, because that meant that I wasn't having to spend freaking half the day getting yelled at for stuff that, getting yelled at by my coaches, saying that I'm not working hard enough and that I don't want it enough and this and that. And then, but then I had like a solid 2 years of just going through high school normally. No clubs, I would go to lunch like normal with all my friends. And after school, go home, relax. That was in the days, that was back when the Creatures and the Creature Hub was still around. And I was a huge fan of them. Those are some of the first ever playthroughs I ever saw. Back when I was still midway through high school. And then it was at the end of my junior year where I did my first play as a tech person, and then I was in acting, or I was in our production class my senior year, and it was amazing. It was so amazing. God, I love theater. I love doing theater so much, which is the entire reason why I'm doing it here in college. But yes, all in all, me getting kicked off my high school's baseball team was one of the best things that ever happened to me. Because if had it not been for that, I would probably not have discovered my love for theater, which would have meant that I would never have decided to do theater in college, which means that I probably have no clue what my major would have been at that point. Maybe I would have fell back onto physics, because I was a physics major when I first got into college, but I'm really bad at math. Or it's not that I'm bad at math, it's the fact that I'm defiant towards math because I don't understand why I had to take such high levels of mathematics when I was in high school, and now I'm a theater student in college, and I will never have to look at a differential equation ever again in my entire life if I don't want to. That's the point that I've reached. All those years of math, and for what? I don't fucking know. That's how I wish that. I mean, I kind of wish that's how our school system was. I wish that. I wish that a student. I wish that literally from the time of elementary school, a student is given a choice as to what they want to learn. Because I think that the only two courses or two main subjects that a student should be required to take are English, and spelling and grammar, and that subject, along with basic math for money. But anything beyond that is outrageous. It's ridiculous. And then I think those two should be required, and that anything else beyond that, the student should be allowed to pick for themselves. I don't know. It won't happen, and maybe that's for the best. I don't know, because whatever. But from my experience, I don't know. I never liked doing math, and I have never liked doing math. Even math that's easy, I still don't like doing it. And I don't understand people because there are people out in the world who really exist who think that doing math is fun, and I don't get it. I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense to me. And so it's confusing, to say the least. And so, yeah. So, let's see. Now that, I've talked about that. I can talk about, let's see. So, right. I've been having trouble going to sleep, but I had not had trouble sleeping. I already said that I haven't been having any nightmares, and that I'm not really someone who dreams very often. It's like because they say that the more tired you are when you go to sleep, it causes you to have even more vivid dreams. I feel like that's true because I feel like that's happened to me before. But usually, I know I've had nightmares and things like that, but luckily, those don't happen very often. And those kinds of things only really happen because I have really bad acid reflux, because I think I get it from my mom. It's one of those things where because I would say I have an ulcer. It's not as much of an ulcer now as it was, because there was a time where back in my first year at university, my first and second year at university, I was the most stressed out I've ever been in my entire life. I wasn't sad or anything like that. I was just stressed out. I had intense back pain, having to walk everywhere on campus because there's no student parking anywhere, was doing horrors for my body, and it was literally for a string of a couple 2 or 3 nights. I could not sleep at all. I would be laying in bed, and I straight up was just in pain, the kind of constant pain where it's not enough for you to worry about it, but it's just enough that it slowly annoys you, but it won't go away. And I found out that was that I had an ulcer. I found out that I had an ulcer that was causing me to be like that. So I call my mom, who's a nurse, the next day, and I tell her that I straight up couldn't sleep last night. Extreme stomach pain that wouldn't go away. I had this acid reflux in my throat, and this and that. And so she basically. So she knows immediately that it's an ulcer. So she tells me other things. She says ulcers are normally caused by stress. So she tells me drinking milk is so whenever you have an ulcer, you have bad heartburn or acid reflux, you want to avoid foods that are high in sugar because those overcharge your body's acid production. And you just also want to avoid foods and drinks that are highly acidic. So it was no orange juice, not as much pop as I might normally drink. It was a lot of milk and a lot of water, those two things. And it was avoiding, just really sugary stuff. I already don't drink coffee or strawberries or anything like that, so I was in the clear when it came to that. And so Yeah, so it was fine dealing with that. And so then she told me I can take Prilosec for it because it's an anti-heartburn medication. Or the generic brand is omeprazole. You can just buy it from like a Walgreens or a CVS or something like that. It is expensive though. It was like freaking $35 for that little box of three. For that box of three pill bottles, which each one has like 20 or 25 pills in it, or maybe even 30 pills in it. So somewhere between 60 and 90 pills for $35, which very expensive, but it is a good deal, I think. But yeah, it's just I would take one of those every night before I went to bed, and I still have it now. It's not as bad because I'm not as stressed because my expectations are all shifted now. So it's not as bad for me. And I've gotten a lot better at handling stress since I've been in college. So that's one of the good things about going. That's one of the good things that's happened to me since I've been in college is I've gotten better at handling stressful situations, which is not one of the things you think about. But yeah, so like it still happens now. So like I cannot eat something like Cinnamon Toast Crunch and then immediately go lay down to sleep. It will come out of my stomach, up my esophagus, and into my throat, and it would be like my body's trying to vomit it up, and it's just like a burning, crackling feeling that you want it to go away. It's painful. It feels like you want to throw up, but then you can't throw up. But then it's like, well, even if I do throw up, it's still not going to stop. It's horrifying, and I hope that you never have to go through it. But if you end up leading a life that causes you a lot of stress, then yeah, you might just end up having it. I think that mine is genetic because my mom has it as well, and I have a couple of other things from my mom that are genetic. Yeah, but water really helps. My mom told me that for protection's sake, I probably shouldn't eat any kind of sweets or other things like that at least an hour before going to bed, and that I should still. It's just one of those things where she said that for people who have to take, or for people who have ulcers or issues with acid reflux, it's you either have to take medication for it every night or you don't. There's no in between. But I'm sort of at an in between right now because there are nights where, so like most nights I don't take it, and most nights I'm fine. But then there are nights where I'm like, yeah, I should probably take one of those before I go to sleep. And then I'll take it, and then I'll still be awake for another 30 minutes because I'm trying to put time in between when I digested that food and then when I lay down to go to sleep. Because it's not being asleep, it's the way that your body is, it's the way that your body is angled. So if I'm laying on my back like this, or if this is my head and my head's tilted down this way, then that lets the acid come up because because of gravity and other things like that, and so that just allows it to enter up and it wakes you up. I've been woken up many times out of sleep, and I shoot out of my bed like my freaking house is on fire or something like that, and I run to the bathroom. I run to the kitchen sink. It looks like a scene out of like a freaking James Bond film where he's been poisoned and he's like breaking open all the freaking cabinets trying to find the pills, and he's getting the water and all this other stuff. And it was one of those things, and it's the reason why I always keep Prilosec on hand someplace, because if I don't, it'll be a freaking nightmare for me, because trying to deal with acid reflux using only water takes, it takes forever, and so the longer it takes to get rid of it, the more it hurts and the more actual damage it can do to your system. And then two, it usually happens. So two, it wakes you up out of sleep, and then you lay back in bed, and then you're scared to go back to sleep because you don't want it to happen again. And then three, it freaking happens in the like 3 or 4 a.m. in the morning, 3 or 4 in the morning, and it's one of those things where you're just so tired when you do it, because like there are times when I've been hunched over my freaking sink hurling up my guts out, and I've almost fallen back asleep right there on top of the sink while I was doing it because I was so tired when it was happening. And so it was just it's such a horrifyingly horrible experience that is just so bad. So bad. I hope you never have to go through it, but you know, everyone is affected by stress. Even if you don't think that you're affected by stress, you are affected by stress. Because like I'm stressed out by the lack of money that I have right now. I'm stressed out by how much I'm working and how much the physical toll that's taking out on my body. I'm stressed out by the fact that I'm lonely because I don't have a girlfriend, and you know, a lot of my friends are really busy, so we can't play together, or we can't play games together. I said the whole the not having money part and the whole not having a girlfriend part are obviously the two biggest things, because I feel anxiety and stress because I'm just lonely in my apartment and I don't have anyone to talk to or text or call or do stuff with. And then even if I did, I don't have any money, which means that we can't go out to nice dinners or movies or anything like that because I can't pay. And I'm not going to expect her to pay because I don't really think that it's the right thing to do. Or something like that, because I'm usually the one who has these ideas. It's like, let's go out to dinner tonight. Let's go see a new movie. And then, you know, we go out there. I don't have the money, so then you ask them to pay, and that's not a very good thing to do to someone, I don't think. So yeah. I woke up this morning. I think I woke up at 11, but I think I stayed in bed till like 1 or 2 o'clock. Because that's just what I've been doing right now, especially on my days off. Yeah, I laid in bed till like 1 or 2 o'clock. Finally got out of bed because I think I realized I think it was because I was hungry, but then I go into my kitchen and I realize that I have no food except ramen, but then I don't have any clean bowls. So then I gotta, do a load of dishes, which is gonna take at least 30 minutes, but by the time the 30 minutes has passed, I'm already doing something else, so then I forget about it. I have a bunch of stuff in my freezer, just packs of meat that I had never finished or anything like that, so then I'll take them out of the freezer. I'll take them out of the freezer, put them in the icebox, but then those will take at least a whole day to fully thaw out. Usually they take 2 days, actually. Things like that, I hate, since my mom always says that she'll always give me money when I need it, but I hate asking my parents for money because it just feels like such a leechy, bad thing to do. And I want to be making my own money, and it's the entire reason why I have a job in the first place is so that I can make money. But then it's one of those things where it's I have to pay rent, utilities, and internet, which is nearly $800 a month, and I really don't make enough money to do anything like that. I only work part-time because I just don't have my body's not in a condition to be working full-time, and especially with school starting soon. I won't be able to work full-time anyway because I'll be a full-time student. I can't work a full-time job and be a full-time student. That's like a death wish. So I'm not going to be doing anything like that. But then I call my mom on the phone and I'm like, hey, what are you doing? I have no money. I can't go out and buy groceries, but I'm really hungry. And so we get into this argument where she tells me to just go buy groceries and that she'll pay for them. And I don't want her to pay for my groceries, but I also really need groceries because I'm going to starve if I don't eat something. And it's this big moral dilemma that I feel like I'm having to face because of other reasons. Because the big reason that I have for why I don't have any money is because of the last bitch that I dated, you know, because she was super needy and demanded that I buy her things, and I'm too good of a person, and so I can't turn down the request of this person that I've told myself that I love, and then, you know, she cheats on me, we break up, I have no fucking money, and it's just an all-around bad time. And so now all that has led up to this moment right here, where I'm in an argument with my mom about how I have no money to buy groceries, and I'm talking to my mom about me having no money to buy groceries, and I know that she's gonna tell me that I know she's gonna tell me to go buy groceries and that she'll pay for them, but I don't want her to do that because I don't want to feel like I'm leeching her money from her, because I know how hard her and my dad both work to make that money, and that it's not my money, and you know, and I shouldn't just demand it back. And why the hell is my right hand so much more tan than my left one? That's really weird. But yeah. So, I think just before then. So, funny story. Up until a few days ago, I had never played Left 4 Dead 2 in my life, ever. Seen plenty of videos of it, knew a ton about the lore and the story. I even knew about there's a DLC level in the first Payday game where it takes place in the No Mercy hospital from No Mercy, and there's literally a Bill Easter egg in the game where one of the times when you spawn in, you can turn around and Bill will be standing there in his army fatigues just in the elevator that you come up in. And then, like, literally the entire mission is based around the 4 Payday guys trying to find this guy who's got this weird mutagen virus inside of him, and it's like a Easter egg for the beginning of the zombie outbreak, which of course is canonical and proves that Left 4 Dead 2 and the Payday universe are the same universe, or something. And so me and my friend, we both just, it was just, I don't even know if I bought Left 4 Dead 2. I think Steam might have just given it to me randomly one day, and I think I remember it happening, but I don't think I bought Left 4 Dead 2. I think that Steam just gave it to me because I've been on Steam for freaking 10 plus years now. Or I think I'm getting close to like 15 years now. Or something like that. And so the entire reason why I wanted to play Left 4 Dead in the first place is because I remember watching videos that are very old now, videos that are at least 5 years old now, but it's of like it's a modded Left 4 Dead 2, because Left 4 Dead 2 has almost 30,000 mods in the workshop. A lot of them are really bad, really stupid things that don't change much, if anything at all. But then there are like some really awesome ones. I remember watching Uber Hacker Nova on YouTube. He had a Left 4 Dead modded series that he played where let's see, the big one that I remember, the big mod that they had was the one that changed all of the common infected to Teletubbies, and like not even just that they looked like Teletubbies, they made the noises that the Teletubbies made. Then they said like la la and shit like that, and it was really weird. And like but the Teletubbies didn't look like normal Teletubbies. They looked like sick and dying Teletubbies, but they all sounded the same. It was just like they took audio clips from the TV show and put it into the mod, and that was it. He had one where the smoker was freaking Charlie Sheen, and it said Charlie Sheen shit in Charlie Sheen's voice. I think there was one that turned the freaking propane tank into a baby that you held in your arms like a baby. It had a face and everything. There was one that there was one that turned the tank into Hank Hill from King of the Hill, and he made the noises. and things like that. There's another one that we saw in the workshop that freaking turns the smoker into like Dale or something from King of the Hill as well, and he says all the things that Dale says. So that's the entire reason why we got it in the first place, because I'm the one who posed the idea, especially since I had never played Left 4 Dead. My friend was like, yeah, we can do that. We both installed the game. The game's not very big. The game has a lot of content, though. The game has a pretty big campaign, actually. So the game has a pretty big campaign, actually, that the two of us have been playing through for the last couple of days. And we just got to the halfway point. We are literally at the start of No Mercy. Like, we are literally, all we have to do is load into it, and we'll be playing the No Mercy chapter. And so that's literally how it is. And so, but now we're at the point where we've already played halfway through the campaign. He posed the question if we want to mod the game now, because he's scared that once we actually finish the campaign, he just straight up won't want to play the game anymore. So now we have to figure out what we want to do. Let's see. We played for like 3 hours or something like that, like a pretty long time, because a lot of the missions in Left 4 Dead 2 are relatively short. You can finish them pretty quickly. We take a break, call my mom, tell her about the whole me have no money thing, me need grocery though. She's like, okay, and she tells me to just, go buy groceries, I'll pay for it. It's all great. So then I decide to go take a nap. I tried to nap for like an hour, but then like at the 45-minute mark, my sister calls me. She's asking me about stuff that's going to be happening freaking next year, and then afterward, so then literally while I'm on the phone with my sister, my mom calls me again to tell me that her and my dad have talked about it, and that they're just going to straight up give me $200 to go buy groceries with and do whatever else. So spent $138 at Walmart buying groceries for myself, which hopefully the groceries will last me for a solid month. Hopefully. So I think that's another problem that I'm having right now because of my loneliness and all the stress that I'm facing. Is I feel like I'm turning more and more into a stress eater. Like I feel like I'm eating a lot. I feel like I'm eating a lot. But then it's one of those things where like I don't think I'm eating because I'm bored. I think that I'm eating because I just love eating. I bought a bunch of comfort food, snack foods that I really like, and things like that. And I haven't eaten all of it yet. Like, God, I hope I haven't eaten all of it yet, or anything like that. So, I'm getting tired. I haven't eaten all of it, so hopefully it'll last me for a good solid month, because I bought all that snack food, and then I also bought food for meals. I'm a big fan of frozen meals, frozen dinners, which I have a few videos of me eating those on the channel, which those ones are all really popular, so I'll keep trying to make more of those for you all. And then beyond that, I spent $138 at the store. I always use the self-checkout because I don't trust anybody to touch and bag my stuff except for me. Which, using the self-checkout is kind of shady sometimes, because today in particular, I felt like I was around some people who I felt like might be the type to try to snatch something from people's bags, because I kept thinking about, I saw this freaking video on Reddit where it was mall security footage of a black woman and like 3 of her kids walking up behind this woman's chair. One of the kids getting underneath this woman's chair, stealing her purse, and then they all fucking walk away. Except the video was played in reverse, and the caption said, "Black woman and her children kindly return lady's purse at the mall very fast," or something like that, because the video had been sped up. it was really stupid, but then it was just like, yeah, but like, that's real. That thing actually happened. Those people actually stole that woman's purse for some fucking reason. And I was just like, and it's just like, seeing that and seeing a bunch of other things like that have just made me more aware. Have just forced me to be more aware of my surroundings, because I don't like bagging my groceries when I'm surrounded by people. And I don't understand, like, I'm going to Walmart at freaking 9:30 at night. Why is it so crowded? I mean, I understand that we're less than a month away from school starting, and all the dumbass college kids that moved away from town are coming back to move into the dorms, and now all of us fucking civilized people here have to deal with their nonsense now. Because literally, we were talking about it at work the other day. Apparently, the amount of wrecks that we have in town doubles, or more than doubles, whenever school is in session, because the freaking dumbasses that I happen to go to university with, they finish class, they go out to these fucking frat parties or these other parties, they go to the bars, they get freaking blackout drunk, and then they go drive around town, and then they die and kill each other, and then I'm supposed to feel bad about it. I'm supposed to feel bad about the conscious bad decisions that another person decided to make, which I don't want. I don't want to sound heartless, but I kind of don't care. And so, that's it. I've talked about it before. I have a pretty extreme bias against alcohol, and I talk about it in my play. And so I get back to my apartment. So I mean, this was kind of impressive. It also really hurt. I buy $138 worth of groceries, and one of those was a big ass 24 pack of Pepsi, which I love Pepsi. I've been really into Pepsi recently. It's kind of weird. It's not weird, but it's kind of weird. It's probably because the Pepsi, because we get free soft drinks at work, and I think our Pepsi is way better than our Dr. Pepper, and so I've just been drinking a lot of Pepsi, and so I've just been on a Pepsi kick, I guess. And so what was I saying? All right, so I buy $138 in groceries. One of these things is a big ass 24 case of Pepsi. I get back to my apartment. I open up my trunk. I grabbed all the bags of stuff in one hand, and I grabbed the case of Pepsi in the other hand, and I brought all $138 of my shit up in one trip. It hurt the shit out of my left hand, but I was very proud of myself. So, triumphant moment during the day. I get back to my apartment. I put all the groceries away. I eat something, because I hadn't really eaten anything today up until then. God, did I eat anything? Right, yeah, I ate that freaking rice earlier, which was for the record, that rice that I made was very bad. It was very bad. I did not do a good job making that rice, which I don't know what happened or what has changed, because the last time that I made rice, that shit was amazing. So I don't know what happened. It could be because my rice is pretty old now. Well, not pretty old, but it's older now. And so then, I ate something, got on my computer again. Me and my friend played Shawshank Live, which is a turn-based tank fighting game. It's really fun. It's really awesome. You should definitely look it up and buy it and support the creators. Definitely worth it. It's like freaking, it'll be like $15 at the absolute most right now. Of course, it could have gone up to 20 since the official release happened, but that was more than a year ago. That 1.0 got released. We played until like freaking 12:30, and now it's after 2 a.m. since I've been recording this for 45 minutes now. And so we get off. I had another snack, and then I decided to make this, and here we are. So, yep, that's how my day went. That's another peek into my life and my past. So I'll probably end the video here now. If you all enjoyed this video, please remember to leave a like and subscribe to my channel to see more of my content just like this. It really helps me out, really helps me make better content for you all in the future and in the long run. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please leave them in the comment section. I will definitely react to them or comment them to them directly in one way or another. Please tell me how your day went, how you're feeling. If you want any advice on any kind of particular topics, don't hesitate to ask. I think I'm pretty good at giving advice to people. And the videos will be going up at a normal pace. Thank you all for watching, and until next time, bye!